Assalamu alaikum students, hope you are doing great. So today we are going to do exercise 5A question number 2. In this question we are going to see how we can solve some kind of linear equations by using different kind of rules. So the first equation that I am having is 4x equals to minus 28. Okay, keep in mind there is a rule in order to solve this equation. The rule says that I'm writing it here. Oh, the rule says that if there is a coefficient that is multiplying with the variable on one side, so you can divide that number when you are going to shift it to the other side, right? Let's suppose, let me write it over here. If a number multiplying on one side, it will be changed into division when moved to other side of equation. It means I'm talking about the operation over here. 4x. 4x means that 4 is multiplying. There is a multiplication between them. 4 is multiplying with x. So in order to find out the value of x, what you need to do, you have to remove this 4 that is present with x in multiplication. So keep in mind, whenever you need to move a value that is multiplying with something and you want to shift it to the other side, so it will be written in the denominator, or on the other side it is going to divide. This is what the rule says. So x equals to minus 28 remains the same, and the 4 that is multiplying with x is going to be divided on the other side, or you can say that it will be written in the denominator. Now 28 minus 28 will be divided by 4. So this is the change of the operation. The operation will be changed. If something is multiplying on one side and you are going to shift it to the other side of the equation so that you can have a value of the variable, then this must be changed. The operation that was present on one side will be changed or will be opposed. What it means that if it is multiplication, then it will be changed into division. If it is addition, then it will be changed into subtraction, that we have seen in question number 1. So this is how you can solve the equation. Now minus 28 upon 4 is a rational number. You can cancel it. 4 ones are 4 and 4 eights are, no, 4 sevens are 28. So the answer is going to be minus 7. Keep the minus sign as it is with the fraction. So the answer is going to be minus 7. It's an integer. So this is how you can solve this kind of equation. Now I'm moving towards another part B. In part B, I am having minus 24x equals to minus 144. Okay, keep in mind that what you need to do, you have to shift the whole value minus 24 to the other side of the equation. So x remains over here, minus 24 is going to be shifted to the other side and it will be written in the division or in the denominator. So it will be minus 24. Now keep in mind that when you are having minus sign in numerator and minus sign in the denominator, so you are going to cancel it. Both the minus sign will be cancelled. Minus minus becomes plus. You will have a positive fraction. And if I talk about 24 and 144, let's divide it by 12. 12 twos are 24 and 12 multiplied by 12 is 144. The square of 12 is 144. So 2 and 12, and then I can further divide it. 2 ones are 2 and 2 sixes are 12. So it means that the answer of this particular fraction will be plus 6. There is no need to write the sign if it is positive. So the answer becomes x equals to 6. This is how you can solve this equation. Now moving towards part C. In part C, I'm having 3x minus 4 equals to 11. Okay, again, it's an interesting question, but there is a change, a little change. What is it? Right now, you are having two terms in the equation. So if you are having two terms in the equation, so first of all, what you need to do, shift that term to the other side that is having no x with it or no variable with it. If the term is independent of x, move it first. You can write over here, if you have any term independent of variable, shift that term to the other side. So keep in mind, if the equation looks like 3x minus 4 equals to 11, then first of all, you can see that you are having two terms on your left hand side. Two terms, 3x minus 4. These are two terms. One is 3x and other is minus 4. So before you have to move this 3 to the other side, it is a must that you should move minus 4 before moving 3 to the other side of the equation. First of all, you have to see that is there any term that is independent of x. If yes, then you need to move that term first. It means that keep 3x as it is and move minus 4 first to the other side of the equation. So you are having 11 over here, and if minus 4 is shifted to the other side, it becomes plus 4. The sign of the number is going to be changed. If it is subtraction, it will be added on the other side. If it is multiplication, it will be in the division. Move to the division. So in this way, 11 plus 4 becomes 15, and now 3x equals to 15. Now it's time to move 3 so that you can have the value of x. Now keep in mind that 3 is multiplying with x. So you need to divide it when shifting it to the other side. So it will be 15 upon 3. Now the answer is going to be 5. How? 3 ones are 3 and 3 fives are 15. So the value of x is going to be x equals to 5. This is how you can do this. Now moving towards part B. Okay, in part D, I'm having 9x plus 4 equals to 31. Again, there are two terms. Sorry for this. Again, I'm having two terms, 9x and 4 on one side of the equation. I need to find out the value of the variable. So first of all, the term that is independent of x, that does not have any x within it, you can move that term to the other side of the equation. So keep in mind, if it is plus 4, it will be minus 4 when shifted to the other side, and keep 9x as it is. Solve the two terms present on the right side. 31 minus 4 becomes 27. Then 9 will be shifted to the other side, and keep in mind that 9 is multiplying with x. So when you are going to shift it to the other side, it becomes 27 upon 9. It will be written in the denominator or in division. So 9 ones are 9, 9 threes are 27. The answer of x that we calculated is 3. This is how you are going to find out the value of the variable by solving the linear equation. Now, let's do part E. In part E, I am having 12 minus 7x equals to 5. Now, let's solve this equation. Minus 7x. Keep minus 7x as it is. Move this 12 to the other side of the equation. So 12 is with a plus sign. When you are going to move it to the other side, it becomes minus 12. So 5 minus 12 going to give you a negative number. Why? Because 12 is a greater number. 5 minus 12 is minus 7. And this is minus 7x. Now you need to shift minus 7 to the other side of the equation, but keep in mind that it will be written in the denominator. So minus 7 upon minus 7, just cancel the two negative signs. Minus minus is plus, and 7 ones are 7, 7 ones are 7. So you can write only 1 in your answer. Plus 1 is going to be the answer. Why? Because in the denominator there is no need to write 1. So you are only writing 1 in the numerator. That's it. Now we are moving towards part F. In part F, I'm having 3 minus 7y equals to minus 18. So in this question, again, what you need to do, shift this 3 that is independent of variable to the other side of the equation and keep minus 7y as it is. So plus 3 when shifted to the other side becomes minus 3. Minus 18 minus 3 becomes minus 21. Add the numbers and write down the minus sign. Why? Because 18 is greater number and it has a minus sign with it. So minus 7y equals to minus 21. Now shift this minus 7 into the denominator. It will be minus 7 over here. Now minus minus is cancelled and 7 ones are 7, 7 threes are 21. So the answer of y will be 3 plus 3. This is how you are going to solve part F. Now we are moving towards part G. I'm doing it very quickly because all the questions are related to one another. Okay, it's a decimal type question, decimal number minus 1.9. It is independent of y. That's why I need to move it first. So 4y remains over here, 6.3 added with 1.9. Now just add these two numbers, 6.3, 1.9. 9, 10, 11, 12. 1 will be carry and 2 will be written here. Write down the decimal point, 6, 7, 8. It will be 8.2. So 4y equals to 8.2. Now divide 8.2 by 4. Just do like this. 4 2s are 8. Key point will be shifted at the top. Then you are having 2. Then you need a 0. So you will write 0 over here. Then write another 0 with 20. Then 5. 4 5s are 20. Cancel it. So it will be 2.05. Right? This is going to be the answer, 2.05. Okay, now let's do part G, part H. Okay, in part H, I'm having minus 3y minus 7.8 equals to minus 9.6. Again, what you need to do, you have to shift this value first. This is independent of y. You need to shift it to the other side and minus 3y remains over here. Minus 9.6, now it will be plus 7.8. Why? Because 7.8 was with minus sign over here. When you are going to shift it to the other side, it becomes plus 7.8. Now you need to subtract both the numbers. 6 minus 8, not possible. Take a carry 1. 16 minus 8 is 8. Keep the decimal point. And 9, it is not 9 now, it is now 8. 8 minus 7 is 1. So 1.8 is going to be the answer of subtraction, and keep the minus sign with it. Why? Because minus 9.6 is the greater value, so you need to keep that sign minus with the answer. Now this is minus 3y equals to minus 1.8. Now minus 1.8 will be divided by minus 3. Minus minus will be cancelled. Just divide. Sorry for this. Just divide 1.8 by 3. Now, 1 is a smaller value. You need to have a decimal point. Put the decimal point. And then Okay, we can do one thing. We can make this value 18 and this value 30. How we can do that? It's a very simple thing that if you have a decimal number in the numerator, you can shift the denominator at the end of the number. You can make the denominator integer. 1.8 can become integer by moving this decimal point at the end of the number. So it becomes 18. Now the decimal point is over here so that it becomes an integer. And the number of times that you shift the decimal, you need to add that number of zeros in the denominator. So in the denominator, you are going to have 30, and in the numerator, now you are having 18. In this way, you can change the decimal number into an integer. Okay, so now let's divide 18 by 30. 18 cannot be divided. Write down the decimal point, write a 0 over here. Now, if I talk about 180 divided by 30, then I think I am having 6. 36 are 180. Right? So the answer is going to be 0.6, 0.6. This is my answer. I hope this is clear to you, and I also think that this concept that I have used over here, converting a decimal number into an integer, is also something that you are familiar about. If you are not, then I'm again repeating this particular step. Here, the numbers that I'm having was in decimal, 1.8 divided by 3. So I need to make it integer in order to divide it. It's better to divide integer values than dividing a decimal number. So 1.8 can become an integer when you can shift this decimal to the end of the number. So it becomes 18. You are shifting decimal point only one time so that 1.8 becomes 18. Decimal is shifted to the left, sorry, to the right one time. Now the decimal is here. So if it is shifted one time, then you have to add only 1 0 in the denominator, 1 0 in denominator. Keep in mind that the number of times you are shifting the decimal, either it is one time, two time, three time, you need to add that number of zeros in the denominator. Right now, I'm only shifting it one time, so I have added only 1 0 in the denominator. So 3 becomes 30, and then I can easily divide it. The answer is y equals to 0.6. Now, doing another part, that is I. Let's do part I now. That is 7y minus 2, 3 upon 4 equals to 1 upon 2. Now it's a kind of rational number question. You need to solve the fractions. First of all, the value that is independent of y, this is independent of y. You need to shift the whole fraction to the other side of the equation. You can shift like this. But before shifting, let's convert it into a proper fraction by multiplying. 4 2s are 8, 8 plus 3 is 11 upon 4 equals to 1 upon 2. Now let's shift it to the other side. It becomes 1 upon 2 plus 11 upon 4. Right? You can shift the whole fraction to the other side of the equation. Now, if you want to make the denominator same in order to add the fractions, you can multiply the first value 1 upon 2. You can multiply it with 2 so that you can have both the denominators 4. Right? It will be 2 upon 4 and it will be 11 upon 4. This is a very important thing, that in order to solve the fractions, you must make the denominator same. So I'm having 2 and 4 in the denominator. I need to make 2, the number 2, 4, so that I can have same denominators. So 2 will be multiplied with 2 so that it can become 4. And if keep in mind that if a number is multiplied in the denominator, then multiply the same number with the numerator as well. This is an important step. 2 upon 4 plus 11 upon 4, you can have 2 plus 11 is 13 divided by 4. Now here you are having 7y. Now what is the last step? This 7 will be shifted in the denominator. Y equals to 13 upon 4 multiplied by 7. Keep in mind then that whenever you are having anything in the numerator, then in the denominator, then the number will be multiplied with it. 7 when shifted to the other side, and it is already present. I want to say that the number 4 is already present in the denominator. So what you need to do, 7 will be multiplied with that number present in the denominator when you are going to shift it to the other side. So the final answer becomes 13 upon 4 sevens are 28. Now we can I think we cannot divide these values. The answer remains same, 13 upon 28. This is the answer. Let's verify this question again. Why? Because it was something a little complex question. So 7y minus 4 to the 8, 8 plus 11 is 9, 10, 11, 11 upon 4 equals to 1 upon 2. Now shift the fraction to the other side of the equation, it becomes 11 upon 4 plus 1 upon 2. We need to solve two fractions. We need to make the denominator same. 1 upon 2 becomes 2 upon 4 plus 11 upon 4 by multiplying it with 2. Now, 4 and 4 are same. Just write it once and 2 plus 11 becomes 13. Now, this 7 will be moved to the denominator and it is multiplied with 4. 4 multiplied by 7 is 28. And 13 will be written as it is. So the answer is going to be 13 upon 28. Now let's do the last part. In the last part again I am having fractional values. 1 upon 2 minus 2y equals to 1 upon 4. Again what you need to do, first of all convert it into a proper fraction. 2 ones are 2, 1 plus 1, 2 plus 1 is 3 upon minus 2y equals to 1 upon 4. Now we need to shift this number to the other side of the equation. Why? Because this number is not having y within it. So minus 2y remains over here. 1 upon 4 minus 3 upon 2. Why minus? Because 3 upon 2 was positive over here. When you are going to shift it to the other side, it becomes minus 3 upon 2. Now this is minus 2y equals to 4 and 2. The denominators are not same. We need to make it same. So you need to multiply the second fraction, this one, by 2. The numerator and the denominators are multiplied with 2 so that the denominators becomes 4. 1 upon 4 minus 3 to the 6 upon 2 to the 4. The denominators became 4 by multiplying 3 upon 2, both the numbers by 2. 2 to the 4 and 3 to the 4. 3 to the 6. It becomes 6 upon 4. This step is very important. Why? Because you need to make the denominator same. Same denominators can be solved. Or you can take the LCM as well. If you cannot get this particular concept, then you can have an LCM of 4 and 2. Now, 4 remains in the denominator. 4 and 4 will be combined. Only 1 4 will be written. 1 minus 6 is minus 5 minus 2y. Now this minus 2 will be shifted to the denominator and it will be multiplied by 4. Why? Because 4 was already present in the denominator, so minus 2 will be multiplied with it. 4 multiplied by minus 2 gives me minus 8. Y equals to minus 5 upon minus 8. Minus and minus are going to be cancelled. So the answer of y becomes y equals to 5 upon 8. This is the fractional value that you are having. So I hope this question is clear to everyone. This is question number 2. All the parts have been done in this video. Thank you so much for watching it. Stay tuned, stay connected for other solutions. Take care.